What's up, people? I'm way out here. I mean, I'm not way out here, but I decided I come outside. The sun's not out, and it's nobody up in here right now. But I guess they'll come back when ever tomorrow, probably 'cause the day's Sunday, and everybody be gone over there. They leave between Friday evening and Saturday. Saturday night. I mean, not like Friday evening, and then like during the day they be gone on a Saturday. Yeah. So everybody is clear, as y'all can see. It's clear in here. Yeah. I don't know. I feel awfully weird if I'm doing these blogs around here and a bunch of people around. If I got a big laptop, like I'm using my laptop right now, if I'm using a little phone, it won't be so bad, to me. Oh, let me get that up out of here. I have to remove that. Y'all, this is what I want to kind of talk about, if this makes sense. They got it like if you put some messages on Facebook, if you put like just a bad word, you saying bad words, messages on Facebook, say you cussing somebody out, calling them out their name. They said people can come, they can press charges on you, and you can, which means that you can be locked up in the jail system, in the penitentiary for that. They can press charges and actually have you going to jail over something like that. Now, here's my thing. The so-called white man can do whatever they want to do, walk around in the schools and kill up a bunch of people. Nothing happened. When they took Dylan Roof, for example, they took this dude after he went and killed 9 black people in cold blood. They took him to Burger King. Now you can come back and you can arrest somebody. They Esau arrest you for saying bad words against somebody because they called up and said, "Hey, I want to press charges on this person here for saying this to this person while he was online." Now you tell me if you think that makes sense. That's the devil. That's how the devil's kingdom works. You see what I'm saying? But any little thing, you see what I'm saying? That's how Satan's kingdom works. No mercy. And the so-called white man, their kingdom is based upon Satan because they are the original children of Satan. You see what I'm saying? So think about it. Our people play in the devil's hand. They play in the so-called America's hand because America ain't nothing but Babylon. It's confusion. The so-called white man is the author of confusion because he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay, what would possess that individual's mind to get that low? What would possess our people is to get that low in mind and allow the enemy is to say, you know what? He said this to my child. He said this to me. I'm going to be that evil and press charges on this person. Now, how can your mind scoop and get so demonic and that low to where you're willing to scoop that low because your heart is that evil? Your mind is that corrupt and evil. You're willing to, if this would hurt my family member or hurt somebody in my family, I'm willing to do it. You see what I'm saying? So you would have to ask, I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, what is they thinking? Why is it, what made them just, now this is something, it ain't like they woke up one morning and say, you know what? I want a mind is to be evil toward my own people and just call the police on somebody on social media if they say one bad word to me. How about that? I want to do that one day. No, this is something that you have to learn. It's like premeditated. It's like a person premeditating to murder or do somebody wrong. They don't wake up one day and be like, especially our people, and say, you know what? I want to get this person put behind bars because this person said something to me out of the way. They wrote something versus somebody killed somebody in my family. Now you think about this here. If somebody murders somebody in your family, when you see the individual that done this, nothing happens. You don't even get that mad at the person, and you don't even be like, okay, you killed my child, whatever. You just act all nice and sweet. But somebody that took and put a word, wrote a message on a Facebook, in a message, in a private message, posted it and said that they was dirty or they was low down or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now the person that said the words to me, I'm going to press charges on them for calling me a low down, dirty so and so. Really? You tell me if that makes sense. Against your own people? Tell me if you think that makes sense. Really? You sit up. What? I mean, just think about it. You be asking yourself this question. What would make them get to the point to where I'm going to press charges over you over some words? But the person that killed my child, that's not so bad. But I'm going to press charges on you because you said some words, some bad words to me that I don't like. Which one would be worse? The person that murdered your child or murdered somebody, or the person that just called you out your name? But you want to press charges on the one that just called you out your name because you was offended over somebody calling you out your name. This is how low and how brainwashed and conditioned that our people then got. Now, this is not to put our people under the bus. I'm just saying that you're allowing the white supremacy or the so-called white man is to play on y'all's empathy, to put that in y'all's head, because that is the ways of Babylon. That is the ways of America. That is the ways of Esau. Esau is that way. Esau is an evil way. The least little thing that you do, what you want to do that to me, and then versus this person murdered your child, but you're going to be more, you hurt over two words that a person said to you. What? You tell me if you think that makes sense. Anybody explain this to me? You'll never see me selling out my own people. I ain't never did nothing like that. Not to my people. Why would you go to a devil for a devil? A devil and a devil can't solve a problem. So how you gonna go to the white man, the so-called white man, the devil, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and have him to solve your problems? How ignorant docile can we get? You more offended over words than you is somebody that murdered your child. Really? It looked like to me you should be more mad of the person, or we should be more madder with our loved ones being shot down in the streets than over all those words. I'm not saying condoning them. Now words, I'm not condoning words being spoken to against our people or whatever. I'm not saying I condone it. But what I'm saying is, why would you want to punish somebody for words versus, it looked like to me the one that should receive the worst of punishment is the so-called white man Esau. They children that deserve to die for what they do to the so-called black families. But the Bible says that God has a great reward for Esau. Esau is the end of the world. He's going to be destroyed. But my point goes back to this here. How can you turn around? And that's what I'm trying to fathom in my mind. You more upset over two words versus somebody shooting and killing your child. You ain't that mad with the person that killed your child, but you that mad with somebody that over words. This is how the so-called white man has trained our people's minds. It's basically, literally, we are mentally and emotionally destroyed because we allow ourselves to be destroyed. That's why the Bible says that he will put a yoke of iron upon our necks until he have destroyed us. When they took them yokes of iron off of our necks, which was prophesied over 3,000 years ago, just like Moses prophesied it, that we would go into slavery on slave ships because we disobeyed the commandments of the Most High God. He said that when we were serving under the yokes of the so-called white man and the yokes of the white man, he said that these things, it was prophesied that the Most High God, he prophesied it through Moses that these things will happen, that we would do all these different things against each other, how we'll be against each other, how we Uncle Tom sell out coons and Uncle Toms, just like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King did. They sold us out. Martin Luther King wanted to join hands with everybody. Now, this is not to actually hurt my people. I'm just saying, we are sitting up here trying to love everybody else and love all of the other nations. We trying to love the hell out of all these other nations who don't care a BS about us. How can you love a very people that go to war and kill your people every day? And we want to sit up here, no matter, and this is the trick that the enemy play on our minds too as well. You remember the how the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Now it wasn't no literal serpent. This was talking about the king of Tyre, the so-called white man. The forbidden fruit was the knowledge of God. It was the philosophies and the ways of America. That's what God was talking about. It was the philosophies and the ways of America that the so-called white man has got us calling ourselves African American. That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of knowledge of good stands for God's word. The philosophy, the tree of knowledge of evil stands for the ways of America. You see what I'm saying? And we walk around here and we call ourselves African American. That's not our biblical nationality. We calling ourselves outside of something that was given to us outside of the Bible. We are. Because if you look in the Bible, it tells you the names of who we are. It tells you who we are. Our people are. Every nation in the Bible has a biblical name that they're identical. But what happened was it was destroyed and taken from us because we disobeyed the commandments of the Most High God, and He put us in these conditions the way that we are. And I'm gonna take time and do everything I can is to bring all that to the table and prove that in other videos and stuff, and using my literature and using the Bible. Have y'all ever heard of anything called the slave trade? All right, let me get back to this because I know I'm all over the place. Our people, how can you sit up and you call, like I said, you call the police on somebody over 2 words versus this person, you're less mad at this person for murdering your child in the streets. Now you tell me does that make sense? Make it make sense. I'm waiting on your comments. Make it make sense to me. I think I would be more upset if something like, think about Mike Brown, Eric Garner, and all of those people that are people being shot down in the streets by the so-called white man every day. We should be more, if our people as a people of color, we need to come together. And you know what I mean? Think about that, if what we can do, we come together. But see, the so-called white man, he want to keep us divided and separated because he don't want us to learn our biblical identity. He don't want us to know who we are. He don't want you to know that you're the greatest person on the planet. He don't want you to know that. The so-called white man do not want you to know who you are. That's why they're doing everything they can is to keep that from you, just like they did during slavery when our people was in the, and a lot of people will walk around here and they will tell you, how can you heal if you constantly thinking about the past and thinking about slavery? The Bible tells you in Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7, it says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and they will tell thee, and they will show thee thy brother. When it said, ask thy fathers, and they will tell thee, the forefather, it means go to the scriptures and learn about what your forefathers had to go through and things of that nature, and read about the slave trade and learn the history of. In other words, what it's telling me is to go and learn about who my forefathers are, what they went through, who are my forefathers. That's what it's saying. It said, ask thy fathers, and they will tell thee. That means do your research on your biblical nationality according to the Bible, and you will understand why our people do what they do as far as calling the police on their own family members and all that kind of stuff. I want to press charges on my brother. I want to press charges on my sister. I want to press charges on my nephew. I want to press charges on my uncle because he said such and such, this and that, this and so on and so forth and that. There is a biblical a psychological deep history behind the reason why our people do that, because number one, they don't know their history. They don't know their history. That's why they do that. That's why if we only knew who we are and understood who we are, and then a lot of our people don't want to come to the knowledge of knowing who they are because they are that far gone in their mind. You see what I'm saying? They are that far gone in the mind. So on that note, I ain't gonna keep the video out too long. I just wanted to come out here and do this video because I was thinking about the things. What I had on my mind was I was pondering how in the world could a person of color, knowing that their son or their daughter got killed and shot down in the streets by the enemy, they not too outraged about that at all, but they're more outraged over a person calling them out their name, whether it's on the phone or whether it's on social media or something that they wrote down on social media. It seemed like, why would you be that hurt over 2 or 3 words or 1 word? I think I would be more hurt if somebody took and shot and killed and murdered my child in the streets. I would be more outraged about that than I would over words. Like, the hell with the words. Hey, hell, you shot my son or you shot my daughter. You killed him and put him a couple of feet under, 30 feet under, whatever. I'm more outraged about that than I am over some words. I can get over some words, but the words or whatever, or killing a person's child or whatever, they they ain't gonna you ain't gonna never be able to go back and raise them from the grave and say you sorry, because they ain't coming back. Once you take somebody's life, that's it. But over some words, you can always come back and heal and get over the words. And the person that wronged you through words or said some bad words to you, they can always come back and say, I'm sorry about the words. If I misunderstood you in any kind of way, I misunderstood you in that way. And I want to come and apologize if I misconstrued or misunderstood your character. And I put your name out there and I said this, I'm sorry, my bad. I take it back. I regret what I said. Yeah. But as far as taking somebody's life, once you take a person's life, you can't come back from that. So you can be more outraged with that because that's something that you really gonna have to live with. If you murder somebody for nothing or kill somebody for nothing, there's no way, there's no later on. There's no way of going back and saying and trying to make up and say that you're sorry. You can't make up and bring that person back if they wanted to come back. You can't do that. The only way you can't, it's just too late. Nothing you can do when somebody's in the ground dead. Once you done killed and murdered that person, that's it. But if you just spoke 2 words against somebody, although you can murder people with your words, but I'm just saying, this is just from a common sense way. If you call somebody out their name and you hurted their feelings or whatever, you can always call the person up and say, look, I'm truly sorry for what I said. You see what I'm saying? But if you kill or take that person's life, there is no coming back from that. You can't go back and redo what you done did. The person is murdered, the person is dead and gone. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm sitting up here and I was thinking as I was walking down the streets, how in the world could you want to press charges? Go to Esau, the so-called white man, and press charges on your own brother, your own sister over 2 words, over some physical words back in that somebody done said or done wrote down. You tell me if you think that makes sense. That's stupid and ignorant. Over some words. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like the person came and murdered somebody's child or murdered that person. That person just spoke a word. Okay, he spoke a word. I'm thinking to go in, I'm finna call the white man. You tell me if you think that makes sense. I'm out.